Hi guys, I'm just doing a video on how to install Windows 7 for Home Premium, Professional or Ultimate on your machine, as it may be baffling to some users. So here I am in the BIOS of this machine, and what I need to do is I need to boot off the DVD which will be supplied with your copy of Windows 7. So what I need to do is need to go down to CD-ROM drive, and we need to move it to the top of the list so that is allowed to boot first. So what we do is, dependent on your machine, we go to F5 or F6, which in this case it isn't. It may be plus or minus, or it will be a combination of these keys, and you can see by pressing them you can move them up and down. So now I've got the CD-ROM at the top, we can now go across to exit and save changes. At this point the machine should reboot and boot off the disk. It will take a few seconds. Okay, so here we are. We are now in the install wizard. So what we need to do is, dependent on where your country is and what keyboard you use, you select the right value in this box here. Okay, so we click next and install now. Okay then, so to use the Windows 7 installation we must accept the license terms provided by Microsoft, then click next. So generally you have to click on custom, which will install a new copy of Windows and erase the hard disk. So on this machine, this is a brand new virtual machine, so it has an empty hard disk, as you can see from the unallocated space on the disk. If you are using a hard drive that you have used previously in another machine, you will have to select that hard disk and click on delete or format, just bearing in mind that that will erase everything off the hard disk. So we click next to start installing Windows 7. Now this process will take between 15 minutes and half an hour. It could take longer dependent on the speed of the machine. So I'll just pause the video and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the expanding Windows files part of the installation. So the machine is about to reboot after installing updates. Okay, so Windows needs to restart to continue. Click restart now. It will ask to boot from the CD or DVD. Don't do that, otherwise the installation will start again, and we don't want that. Okay, so the setup will continue with the installation of Windows 7, which will take an extra few minutes. So I'll just pause the video again and we'll be back in a few seconds when it's ready to reboot. Okay, so the setup will now restart the machine. Here we go. Again, do not boot off the CD. And here it is booting into the installation for the first time. Okay, so it's just loading up, preparing the computer for first use. Checking video performance now. Okay, so we're into the next stage of the setup process. Okay, so you need to choose a username for your account. So for the sake of this example, we'll choose John. And based on that, it will create a computer name. Feel free to change this at any time. Click Next. Okay, so you can optionally set a password for your account. I'm not going to do this in this tutorial, but you can if you want to. Okay, so your Windows product key. If you have bought a CD from a reseller, then it will contain a sticky label that you'll need to stick to the machine, and it will contain a product key which you need to type into this field here. Your computer might already have a product key stuck to it. Okay, so type that there. So here you can decide how you want the computer to install updates. Do you want it to do the updates automatically? Do you want it to do only the important updates, or do you want it to ask you later? I'd recommend going for the use recommended settings, because then it does the updates by itself and you don't have to, touch it. Set the clock. This will probably already be right because it knows from where you are. Okay, so you need to select your computer's current location. It's either a home network, a work network, or a public network. In this tutorial, I'm going to click work network. Okay, so Windows is finalizing the settings. Okay, so it is booting into the installation now. It does take a few minutes the first time you're logging on because it's creating all your profile and your settings. Okay, so we are now booted into the installation. So, this is your installation of Windows 7 that you've installed. You will have to install the drivers for your hardware, which is dependent on your particular machine. You may have driver CDs, although I wouldn't recommend using them because you can download later drivers from the internet by typing in your motherboard name or your graphics card name on the internet. Okay then, thank you for watching this tutorial by Ben's Tech Tips. We hope to see you sometime soon.